I will take a koan. This is from the collection called Momokan or Gateless Gate. See, the koan practice, just a few words. Of course, you have to understand, but understanding alone is not enough. Understand, say, when you go through the koan, see the various aspects, possibilities, and then become the koan. The koan answers to the teacher. You have to show, not to discuss, present, and be simple also. Take some simple words which are in the koan and present yourself as the koan. You are the koan actually. And so that's the koan practice. But spiritually, I also want to say, there are only some basic themes. They are not very complicated. It's basic, simple themes, but we have to become that, deepen in those sort of realization. There is a nice story, Zen story, a bird's nest Roshi it's called. Bird's nest means he was living on the trees. Maybe he has put a platform under the top of the tree. He was living he was supposed to be living for nearly 30 years, that style. So he became famous. The governor of the region came and made obeisance to him and then said, Roshi, give me some words I can live with. The Roshi said, avoid evil, good evil, do good, that's all. And the governor said, Roshi, even 8-year-old child knows this, and you are teaching me this. Everybody knows that. And the Roshi said, sure, 8-year-old child knows this, but even 6-year-old man cannot fulfill it. And so, fulfilling these sort of commandments or principles, that's not easy. Say, for example, love all beings. That's simple. But how do you realize it? It is a very deep, very long thing. How do you love? How do you practice? Can you become love? That's our whole sort of sadhana, so to say. Okay, I am talking introduction so much, but I take a koan. This is number 23rd. I have commented on this koan very often because this is a nice one as a sort of introduction to you. The story goes, I tell the story first, and there was what you call Yino, which is a Chinese man, of course. It takes place in the 8th century, you see. And so he was a poor man. But then once he heard a Zen saying, and then he wanted to see a Zen master. So he came, the so-called 5th patriarch. China, there are 6 patriarchs. That means 6 great sort of ancestors or leaders, beginning with the Indian Bodhidharma, and then Chinese 2nd, 3rd, 4th. In India, there are supposed to be 28 from Buddha onwards. They are supposed to be great ancestors or patriarchs. And so the 6. Here it is about the 6th patriarch actually, you see. So he went to the 5th patriarch. He traveled a long way and then found the monastery. And then he was a layman. The monastery, they take only monks. he was not yet a monk. And so the fifth patriarch asked for his name and all those things and told him, go to the kitchen and help the cook. And then he was helping the cook. And then the master was getting old, fifth patriarch. He is called Obey. Obey means the place actually. Most of the Zen masters are called by the name of the mountain or the place. And so he told the monks, I am getting old, I want to retire. You write some Zen poem expressing your enlightenment. And if I see that you are really deep and mature enough, I will give the transmission. That means I will appoint you as my successor. And so the senior most monk wrote a poem, but he didn't dare to take it to the master. He wrote it on the wall. It runs like this. The body is the linden tree. Linden is an ancient sort of tree. Body is the linden tree. The mind is a clear mirror on the stand. Wipe it clean all the time. Never let dust and rubbish adhere to it. Very nice poem. Body is the tree, you see. And mind is the mirror on the stand. That is, mind is in the body, you see. The body is the stand, so to say. And the mind is the mirror standing or placed in the body. Wipe it clean all the time, because the dust and rubbish will fall on it. So keep practicing purifying your practice and deepening, purifying all those things. And then our friend, the sixth patriarch, he was not at the sixth patriarch, only later he became the sixth patriarch, or Huining in Japanese. And so he, supposed to be an illiterate man. That's not true. These stories are, historically mixed up. We are not so sure how much is history, how much is lesson. They leave it. And so he asked somebody to read the poem. And he read the poem. And he said, no, that's not good. I will form a poem. You write on the wall again. And he composed a poem. This poem runs, the linden intrinsically has no trunk. Also the clear mirror has no stand. There is nothing from the beginning where dust and rubbish can fall. See, the first man said the body is the tree. He says the body has no trunk. That means there is no tree. And he said the mind is the clear mirror. And he says, clear mirror, there is no stand. You see that it's not standing somewhere. No clear mirror. There is nothing from the beginning. This is the famous phrase. There is nothing from the beginning. Where can dust and rubbish fall? He simply says, say translation, there is no tree, there is no mirror, there is nothing at all from the beginning. Where is dust, where is rubbish? And the first man said, there is the tree, there is the mirror, wipe it clean all the time. You see, don't let dust and rubbish fall on it. And I suppose you see the difference in this poem. Both are good. We should not say one is wrong, one is right. But the different perspectives. What is the first poem point to? Tell me. What is the first poem point to? The body is the tree, the mind is the mirror. Always wipe the mirror. What does he say from that poem? What does he say? Symbol. Huh?
Action. Something we have to do.
You have to do. But why? And what have you to do?
Because we assume there is a form.
Yes. You assume. Assume what?
Form is there.
Not only form, what else? Just put it a better word. You see, what he says is, the body is an object, mind is an object, and dust and rubbish are objects, and they will fall. So avoid rubbish and dirt, clean the mirror, and that means he's objectifying the mind. The mind, of course, the word is sort of a German word, Geist, we can say, is Shin. That means heart, mind, soul, self, all those things. You see, we can say simply the self. And so, is objectifying. There is a thing, object, like mind, like the self, like the body, and wipe it clean all the time. And what does this other man, sixth patriarch, say? There is no tree, there is no mirror, there is nothing from the beginning. He negates all that. There is no object. There is no thing. Where can you find all these things? There is nothing from the beginning. Zen uses very often the word emptiness. And more or less he is pointing to the dimension. There is nothing at all. See, not even, you can't even call there is something like a dust and rubbish. There is nothing from the beginning. And so see the difference. And so the fifth patriarch read both poems, realized this man, a layman who had come just a few months before, he is a deeply enlightened man. And so at night, he didn't dare to do it in the daytime. He went, woke him in the midnight and checked him, and he decided he taught him also the Diamond Sutra, you see. So in the Sutra, not Heart Sutra, Diamond Sutra, I gave him. And then transmission supposed to be in the old days, give your bowl, sort of baking bowl. That's supposed to be coming from the Buddha himself, baking bowl. And the rope. Rope means something like, you are authority, you see. So that also supposed to be traditional rope. And so he gave him the rope and the bowl. That was a transmission. I told him, I appoint you as my successor, but don't stay in the monastery. They will kill you, run away. You see, even ancient days, this sort of thing is not unusual. And so the koan begins from here. The koan, you see, only there. You see, the six patriarchs going away. Actually, I went and I visited some years back, long ago, China. The six patriarchs temple I went. There's a small, not even as high as a Perumal mountains. Small sort of ridge is there. And they told me the sixth patriarch was running along this ridge and the monks caught up with him there. These are all stories. Okay. And so the koan begins from here. I read from here. The sixth patriarch was pursued by the monk Mio as far as Mount Dayu. The patriarch, seeing Mio coming, laid the rope and the bowl on a rock and said, "This rope represents the faith and trust. How can it be completed by force? I will allow you to take them. Take them." Mio tried to lift them up, but they were immovable as a mountain. Terrified and trembling with awe, he said, "I came for the Dharma, not for the rope. Please teach me, reveal to me the Dharma." The patriarch said, "Thinking neither of good nor of evil, at that very moment, what is your original face or primal face?" In that instant, Mio suddenly attained deep realization, and his whole body was covered with sweat. In tears, he bowed down and said, "Besides the secret words and secret meaning you have just now revealed to me, is there anything else deeper?" The patriarch said, "What I have now preached to you is no secret at all. If you reflect on your own true face, the secret will be found in yourself." Mio said, "Though I have been at Obey, that's with the master, with other monks, I have never realized what my true self is. Now, thanks to your instruction, I know it is like a man who drinks water and knows for himself whether it is cold or warm. Now you, lay brother, are my master." The patriarch said, "If that is the way you feel, let us both have obey for our master. Be mindful and hold fast to what you realized." That is the sort of famous story. So he is running, going away with the we received transmission, and the monks are trying to pursue him. Finally, only one monk, Mio, caught up with him. And then he puts down the rope and the bowl. "Take them. You are coming for these? Take them. They only are symbols of faith and trust." And of course, Mio, he was greedy, tries to lift. These are symbols of transmission. But of course, maybe psychologically he was not able. Trembling, he said, "I have not come for the bowl and rope. Please reveal the Dharma to me." That's also very important, you see, very important. What are you coming for? Zen says, when students come for Zen, there are many sort of goals. Maybe some release from stress, maybe some meditation, maybe samadhi power, maybe sort of compassion, maybe enlightenment and so on. You see, you can come for many reasons, many goals. And so, but here, this monk finally realizes, I come for the Dharma, not for these things. Reveal it to please to me. And then the sixth patriarch, you see, he was sort of, suddenly he blurts out, "Think neither of good nor of evil." That is, think of good and evil means dualism, dualities. Good, bad, death, life, I, you, black and white, all those dualities. Beyond all those dualities, also birth and death, they are also dualities. Beyond all those things, what is your original face? Face, of course, stands for self. What is your primal original face? That means, simply is asking, who are you beyond all these definitions? We have got our histories. I am an Indian, I am an old man, I am male, I have got a body, I am sick or healthy. All those definitions are what you call labels we have got. Beyond all that thing, see, are you only that? Ask yourself, are you only the body? Are you only the brain? Are you only the nervous system? Or are you only the history? We have got, of course, history. We are born here, grown there, and so on. You see, are you only that? Or are you simply your emotions? Or only your relationships? Who are you finally? That is a question, you see. Who are you ultimately? That is a question he asks, you see. So you are moving in all these sort of dualities, you see. Beyond all that, are you somebody or there's nothing at all? You are empty shell. Are you an empty shell? Or nothing else? Or are you only the brain? Or only our ideas? Who are you truly? That is a question. What is your original face? Actually, very often it is formulated like this. What is your original face before your parents were born? Even before your parents were born. Who are you finally, ultimately? And it is said, this question, you see, you also must know how to put a question for these things, Perhaps these monks were, Mio was living with all the monks. This master gave Teisho talk every day. but he didn't put this question properly, perhaps, you see. And here, suddenly, this question comes sort of like the thunder. And suddenly, he sort of breaks open, his heart breaks open. That is what I am. Of course, he himself was prepared. The monk has been training, practicing all those years. And so he was mature enough to sort of listen to the question and let it open him, you see. Suddenly he realizes, that is what I am, you see. Trembling, sweating, and then he says, and I have opened my eyes. And still he has some doubts. Is there anything more deeper? You see, this question also very important. You see, the point is, he says, the patriarch, what I have preached to you now is no secret. Look into yourself. You will realize. That means it's not some revelation coming from outside. It's not some knowledge added to you. Become aware of yourself. Look into yourself. Then you realize that is who I am. And then the Mio says, now it is like you're drinking water and you know for yourself whether it is cold or warm. You know for yourself. You must know for yourself. And when you know that, yes, then there is a peace. There is a liberation. You can rest, you see. And then, of course, Mio says, you are my master. He's a layman, not a monk. You are my master, please accept me. And in the sixth patriarch says, no, if you feel like that, our master is obey. Go back and train. He himself is humble enough. You see, he doesn't claim, though he has got a transmission, you see, he is a master now. He says, no, my master also is obey. Go back and practice. And so this is the story very briefly. See, the verse also is very important. Verse, Mumon is, puts a verse and a small commentary. Let me only look at the koan first. You see, koan. And koan is clarified with the verse, the two verses, you see. The verses and koans go together, you see. And so, first verse, as I told you, it's objectifying the self, the mind, the spirit, the body, all objectifying. And the second verse, the sixth patriarch, there is nothing at all. Where is an object? Where is the self? Where is your mind? There is nowhere. You can't grasp it. There is no object. And so let me say a few words. On one level, yes, we are body, we are mind, and so on. You see, we must accept this level, you see. But another level, you see, yourself, you see, yourself. Can you grasp yourself? Where is yourself? What is yourself? Of course, the self manifests through your body, through your mind, through relationships. But so what is ultimately yourself? You see? And for the self, use consciousness. Consciousness is something like a door. You enter into the realization of emptiness. You see, first, this second verse talks about emptiness. Originally, there is nothing at all. That means it is emptiness. Emptiness is taking form. Emptiness is your body. Emptiness are the trees. Emptiness is a mountain. Emptiness, the sun and the stars and the moons. The whole reality is emptiness. That means, ultimate the source you can't grasp. I use very often the word for emptiness, mystery. You see, just, to help you to understand, you see. Mystery, emptiness. Emptiness, the Heart Sutra you recited, do you remember? Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Form is all the created things, all the world, worldly things, and yourself included. Emptiness is form, but form is emptiness also, it points to. And that means emptiness is taking form. Me, you, tree, mountains, emptiness taking form, realization. That is a one level. That is the ultimate level. But the secondary level will be also, think of your consciousness. See, your old self, emptiness is your old self. Emptiness is all reality. But consciousness also is a window or the door to enter into the realization of emptiness. You see, it's only a door, you see. It's not all of emptiness. But and try to understand your consciousness. Where is your consciousness? Look at yourself. Where is your consciousness? You see, without consciousness, we can't be aware of things. I am aware of myself. I am aware of you. I am aware of things. Everything in our consciousness. In our consciousness, you see, the whole world enters us. And we become present to the world. It is only through consciousness. Otherwise you can't. There are two levels. One is so-called matter. Matter is not really matter, but when you think of this matter as a sort of block, so to say, you see. It's not fully conscious, so to say. But in consciousness, you enter into present to all the world. Without consciousness, you cannot be present. The tree, how do you know the tree? Because you are conscious of the tree. How do you know you? I am knowing. Because I am conscious of you. What does it mean, conscious of you? You enter me consciousness. You sort of become a sort of thing. Actually, it's supposed to be, Aristotle supposed to have said, you see, knowing, you become, know something by becoming that thing. You know something by becoming. You see. And our consciousness somehow pervades the universe. And therefore, in consciousness, you are present to the world. The world is present to you. Not simply bodily, in consciousness. Consciousness itself, what is consciousness? We can't simply explain very much. Mindfulness, yes. Awareness, yes. It's beyond all that. In consciousness, the world is present to you. And you are present to the world. And you see, think of the consciousness, where is your consciousness? You can't simply locate it only in the body. Consciousness is everywhere. It's spread out, so to say. And therefore, it is only presence. It is like the light. Well, how is the light? You can't see light in the physical eyes. How do you see light, for example? How do you see light? How do you know light there is? Simple. How do you know?
Reflection on the objects.
Because you are seeing the things. When the light comes, you see the trees, mountains, you and so on. You don't see light itself. You see light because you see things. That's the same way our consciousness enlightens the world. It is a light, so to say. And you become aware of the world. When we become conscious, we become aware of the world. So this is the door or entrance to the realization of emptiness. You enter into emptiness, and that simply means yourself ultimately you cannot grasp. Consciousness you can't objectify. It's not a thing. It is something like space. It is something like clearance. You see, consciousness makes a clearance for things to enter you. You let the world enter you. Not only enter, you become the world, so to say, become present to the world. And so in our consciousness, you are pervading the world, all the world. And so, of course, We can't become aware of all the world. We become in consciousness of particular things usually. When you see a tree, you become the tree. When you see an animal, you become the animal. When you see you, I become you. That sort of thing, consciousness. You see, you become particular. But potentially, it is unlimited. It is overall, you see. And this actually is the koan practice actually, you see. Okay, let me not go further away, you see. That is a dimension. Emptiness is yourself. Emptiness is the world. Emptiness is form. Form is emptiness. That means in life, how do you sort of, I talked about sadhana, how do you realize it? How do you sort of ground yourself in this dimension? See, I said we are sort of in two levels in one sense. It's a way of talking. In one level, we are physical, we are limited, we are bounded. Another level, in consciousness level, emptiness you can't talk about actually. Let us talk about consciousness. Consciousness level, you are unlimited. You are pervading the world, so to say. And so it is like, in one sense, if you want, look at the ocean and the waves. The waves are individual things, so to say. The ocean is unlimited. It is sort of unlimited, boundless, so to say. In consciousness level, you are unlimited. But you are also particular, like the wave. Also like thoughts, images and so on come and go. You are limited, so to say. But at the same time, you are in consciousness level unlimited. You see, beyond space and time, beyond dualities. And so you are living. How do you live now? First level, realize if that beyond space and time, beyond boundaries, beyond sort of limits, your consciousness, yourself is that presence. Yourself is emptiness itself, yourself. Yourself is sort of non-object. Yourself cannot be located anywhere. You see, I put a koan nicely at the entrance, abide where there is no abiding. Where there is no abiding, you cannot locate the self. You cannot objectify. But learn to abide. How do you abide? Where there is no object, no space, no limit, nothing. How do you abide? That means, Master Eckhart used a nice phrase, Gelassen sein, letting be. Be. Let be your body, your mind, in this infinite ocean, so to say. That is yourself. And yourself also, your body, your mind. Let your body, mind rest in that, the fathomless ocean. Rest in that dimension. Abide in that dimension. And that's what does it mean? Be not afraid. You can be yourself. Do not be afraid, All the time, Buddha, Jesus Christ also, the great saying is, do not fear. You see, even Buddha very often is put this gesture. Jesus, of course, the resurrection, this gesture, do not be afraid. Fear not. That means, of course, normally must be fearful, normal fear, you see. And so, but ultimately, fear not. You are grounded in that groundless ground. Let yourself be fearlessly. And that simply means, that means learn to say yes to yourself. Learn to accept yourself. Learn to be home in yourself. You are all right. That is also meaning, perhaps Cyril was told you, or I very often say, you are unconditionally accepted. You are all right. It's not somebody else coming and accept you. You yourself, that groundless ground, let yourself be. You are unconditionally, this finite self is accepted and you are affirmed. Affirm yourself. At the same time, remember, when you can let yourself be, affirm yourself, learn to affirm the others. Otherwise, this will not be real affirmation, self-affirmation. Learn to affirm the others. Learn to sort of let be the others, the world and so on. At the same time, without fear, if there is something like, for example, aggression, hostility and so on, be without fear. Say no, say stop, and so on. And in your security, sort of say, it's all right, yes. And if you have to suffer, if you have to go into sort of death and suffering, fear not. It is all right. You are held, so to say. You can go into that. It is all right. That deep sense, you see. That's all right. But at the same time, learn how to live your life, how to affirm yourself, and by affirming yourself, learn to affirm others. And that deep sense. On the other side, that is one side. And also, we must realize, if you are sort of present to the world is present to you, you are also the world. Don't forget that. See, actually the verse, it comes very nicely. You are the world. Of course, not exactly as living in this body, in this mind. But you are the world also. And so, care for the world, respect the world, and with the world, other human beings, and learn to respect, accept the others. And accepting others and so on, learn to avoid, as I quoted the bird nest Roshi, avoid evil, do good. That's all your practice. Avoid evil. When evil comes, say no, no. Also, when you are affirmed, you see, don't be afraid of emotions. Emotions, negative emotion, sex, anger, fear, even murderous thoughts, whatnot. Don't be afraid of emotions. You are safe. Don't run away. You can be open. But in action, learn to act with kindness, with compassion, with love. You see, there are two levels. One level, be open to all the emotions. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Nothing will happen. So, you see. But the other side, learn to live in the sort of positive side. You see, don't sort of throw out your dirt onto others and the world. Learn to transmute them, you see. The sasana practice also in the sense, learn to be seated. You are all right. You are emptiness seated. Sit there. At the same time, you are all right. All thoughts, emotions come. It is okay. Let them be. But when you get up and go, act with compassion. Act with courage. Act with love. That you must be there. Not simply throw out all those things. You see, act, but with courage, with compassion, with kindness, and without unnecessary fears. Act and so on. You see, learn to also, relationship with the people and so on. Learn to say yes and no. That's very important. You must learn also to say no and soon to say yes. You see, you must learn that. And then the practice, and these sort of thing, you see, only thinking will not be enough. That is why we practice bodily. The sasana practice is breathe in, breathe out, come back again and again. Come back again and again, sort of thing. It is also a healing practice. Learn to be here and now. Learn to be open to all. Let be yourself and also realize you are loved, you are accepted, you are alright. The deep sense